What's up YouTube, Steven the Salon Guy here. In today's video, I'm going to actually transform this haircut a little bit and I want to show you guys what we got going on here. So we do have a fairly traditional disconnection going throughout the back here, the sides and everything. But the problem is that this is a bit too long right here. All right, now if you wanted to slick this all back and kind of rock like a slick back undercut, then this will look great. But I want to create something a little bit different where it's got more texture to it, and we're going to come up with a more of a spiked kind of look as opposed to the traditional slick back undercut. So I'm ready to go. Let's get started. As I mentioned, and you can see here, combing this all back, you can get a fairly traditional undercut with this type of look right through here. All right, and all this is basically, you know, like I use like I think a 5-0 guard. This is almost like skin all the way throughout the sides and the back, and it is completely disconnected, as you can see right through here. I mean, this is the traditional undercut. What I want to do is I want to kind of reverse this shape and create something that is going to be a bit more textured, right? And especially in through here. So instead of laying this down flat, we're going to actually spike this up here. And so what we need to do literally is just cut the hair a bit shorter and create some layering. So the first thing that you really want to make sure that you're doing is it's really the base length in through here, because if this is too long, it's actually not going to spike up. It's just going to want to kind of fall down, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually cut this a bit shorter right in through here, just freehanding this. But you do need to be careful, because if you cut this too short into here and there's not enough of a gap between the disconnection into here, this isn't going to spike up. It's going to just kind of want to, you know, fall down. So you got to make sure you are leaving a little bit of length in through that area so that you can actually spike it up, all right? And that's the biggest takeaway from this whole thing. A lot of times people may cut this right up to here. The problem is that the hair is not going to drop down if it's too short, right? It's not going to work. So what I'm doing is I'm establishing my length thread here, and then we need to go back in and layer it. Now, if you notice, I am leaving the front a bit longer. I mean, obviously I'm going to shorten it here, but I am leaving the front a bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm combing this down pretty much right in the middle, and I'm going to continue to just cut, and literally I'm just cutting a straight line all the way across. So when we get down to here, let's go again, straight down right here. I'm doing this all freehand like this, right? I'm not using my hands to hold it, as of yet at least, but depending on the client, you know, you may need to start doing that. So here's where I'm going to comb it down, hold it in place with my fingers, and we're going to cut this. But if possible, you can do this whole haircut, you know, without any sort of using your hands at all, right? Now, this may look easy. It may look like, oh, it's a 1, 2, 3 job. Bring it down, cut it, and go. We're done. But honestly, it's not that easy, you know, because we have to actually create the layering, which is what we're going to do now. All right, so there's that. And to connect this, all we're literally going to do is comb this straight up like this, and we're going to start to create our shape. And what I'm doing is I'm cutting towards the face to establish that kind of base perimeter. And now we have to connect it like this. And I'm cutting vertically going towards the face. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is the best way, at least in my opinion, to blend these two parts in. Now is when I'm going to actually hold the hair straight up horizontally, and we're going to cut straight across like that. And I'm literally just working on the mohawk section right in through here first, which is really literally just right down the middle. That's what that mohawk section is. It's right down the middle here. And once we have this established, then it'll be a lot easier for us to look at the end result here and to style it. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting the top, I'd say around to where it's about 2.5 to 3 inches or so, you know, no more than that. Now for the corner. And if you don't do this, it's not gonna lay properly. You know, it's not gonna have the right movement that you're looking for. So this is just as important as cutting the center. And we already did this down and through here, but what we can do is scissor over comb, and we can kind of work this part up and blend it all this way. All right, so now what we're doing is we're creating kind of a nice balanced shape right in through here. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to cut these corners. And then what I like to do is I like to go in and connect everything going down this way, just to make sure that we're all fairly balanced. Again, now we're going to go on the side here, and we're just going to horizontally cut all of this working upwards. Now, if you are a hairstylist watching this, or a barber or whatever, then this is going to be very, very helpful for you. If you aren't, and you're literally a client watching this, what are you going to be really taking away from this video? I don't know, because if you're cutting this yourself, then that's one thing. It might help you understand the complexity of really hair and why it all needs to be cut. But what I'm really doing right now, which is the most important, is the term called layering. And I've talked about this in a lot of my videos. Layering is really removing the weight and making sure the hair can kind of move around freely and evenly. If you don't do this, the hair will just not lay properly. It won't look right. You need to do this, right? And you need to express to your stylist or barber that they have to layer the hair properly as well, or else this is not going to look right. But the key is to make sure that it's being done evenly. All right, this is where you need to be even Steven, folks. Even Steven. I'd like to start seeing more people wearing this type of kind of disconnected haircut. Where a lot of people have kind of the usual, really long on top and the slick back undercut, where I think this is something that I haven't seen in quite some time, but I wouldn't mind seeing it a bit more. All right, cool. So here we have this front piece. I may want to take this a little bit shorter right in through here. Not a whole lot, but just enough. All right, so there's that. And yes, it's going to look like a crazy mess right now, but if you were to kind of spike everything up this way, you can kind of see what we're looking at in through here. And again, don't be afraid to go back in, double check to make sure everything is completely even and well balanced. So let's blow dry this and see how it looks. All right, guys, so we're back. What I did with the blow dryer is I literally just blow dried everything straight up. No brush, no nothing. I just let the blow dryer do all the work and just literally blew everything up on the sides, the back. It's all sticking straight up, okay? Because it's easier to do this, right? You want the hair to get that volume, that texture right away than to not have it at all. So now it really comes down to how you're going to be styling it. So I'm going to be using, this is a new product that I'm working on, and it's basically a extreme hold kind of paste, right? It's scoops out almost like marshmallow, like a fluffy kind of marshmallow cream. Apply it to your hands like so. As you can see, extremely creamy. And then you work it through, and it's going to give you extreme hold. It's going to transform into your hands almost instantly, and then you apply it in your hair. So this is something that is kind of extremely responsive, and it's going to be great for people with like really, really thick hair, probably like Asian hair, straight hair, because it's got so much kind of grip to it that it's really, really ideal for someone like with that hair texture, right? And then over time, as it dries, it becomes even more matte. But yeah, I just want to kind of show how you're styling this. So as you can see, I'm working all these pieces up in through here, and I'm kind of just forming the style like this, working it a little bit more forward, creating almost like a reverse faux hawk kind of look, which I think looks pretty cool. But yeah, this is something unique, something a bit different, hoping that you guys would enjoy something like this. All right, everyone, so once again, breaking this down, the top here is probably about, I'd say, 2.5 to 3 inches the most. you don't want to go too long on the top, and you want to make sure it's all kind of balanced and even throughout the whole thing, as you can see and through here. And obviously you want to use a product that's going to have good hold to it, something a bit more matte, and something a bit more textured and pliable, which is what we have here. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this, if it's cool to see something a bit different. Maybe it'll be a trend. It's very extreme, a very extreme haircut, but I'm all about trying new things. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for more videos with the Salon Guy.